In the context of the Democrats, I thought there was kind of an interesting juxtaposition of the divide of the party in a couple different ways, but particularly as Mamdani's speech ended, and you had this sort of young, huge arena speech that really felt more like a rock concert, honestly, than a political event. Then it cut to California with who I think the establishment really likes in the Democratic Party, Gavin Newsom, and there he was, kind of alone behind a banner, telling the rest of the party what to do, kind of acting like that traditional leader. And then, throughout the evening, we heard about, some of the governor's races and other things like that about the future of the party. Where do you kind of see the future of the party at this moment? I know it's really early to say that, but what did you kind of take away as far as the future of the party goes from last night?
Well, first, Proposition 50 was important only in the fact that it was meant to counteract the Trump agenda to take over the House by any means necessary. If Proposition 50 did not have language in it to say that it was an emergency temporary measure to have redistricting in California to combat Texas's cheating, I would have had a problem voting for it. But it was clearly stated as an emergency temporary measure because the solution to gerrymandering is not more gerrymandering. The solution to gerrymandering is fairer districts. But if one side is going to play dirty, that's the one thing I appreciate about Gavin Newsom is that he has shown some willingness to fight fire with fire. However, Gavin Newsom overall, to me, is the white male version of Kamala Harris. He is the quintessential pick me politician who looks at which way the political winds are blowing and has no problem throwing vulnerable communities under the bus if he thinks that is the way to get ahead. So I look at the political candidate's stance on transgender rights as a really good litmus test. This is a very tiny, very vulnerable, very marginalized community in the country. Transgender people are like a minuscule percentage of our population and have a minuscule impact on the day-to-day lives of most Americans and have been turned into a boogeyman by the likes of Trump to, as scapegoats to rile people up. And when I see Democrats like Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom try to appease the right by throwing trans people under the bus, to me, that is an absolute litmus test failure. And then all you have to do is look at somebody like Zohran Mamdani, who campaigned alongside trans leaders in New York, who had the endorsement of prominent transgender leaders who paid homage to Stonewall to make very clear he would not be willing to throw any marginalized community under the bus to get ahead. I want to see more of the politician who finds what their values are and sticks to it, and less of the pick me politician, because the pick people can see through. People are politically savvy. They see the inauthenticity of people like Newsom and Harris, who are both itching to be on the 2028 scene because their desperation for power and higher office is so apparent that nobody is going to get fooled, and Kamala Harris will lose a second time if she runs, and with it take the rest of us. So enough with her, enough with Gavin Newsom, enough with the Abigail Spanbergers, who, yes, she won the Virginia governor's race last night, but that's because she was the Democratic nominee, and in a field of Democratic nominees, if there was somebody running to her left, I wonder if Virginia would have not preferred a more progressive candidate, because she is the one who 2 years ago, no, 4 or 5 years ago, after Trump won in 2020, said we should never use the word socialism or socialist again, because that's how the Democratic Party loses. Well, she was proved wrong in Mamdani's win last night.